Morning, student. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. In last class, we have discussed short transmission line and some numerical problems based on the short transmission line. Okay. So now today we'll discuss medium transmission line, the analysis of the circuit diagram, and then some numerical problems. Now we know that what is the basic classification of the short transmission line. In short transmission line, the effect of capacitance, line capacitance are neglected because lines have a much smaller length and it transmit the power at very low voltages, that is less than 20 kV. But in case of this medium transmission line, the length is between 50 to 150 kilometer and the voltage is greater than 20 kV. So in this case, we cannot neglect the effect of the capacitance. So the capacitance effect will be considered for medium transmission line. So, however, as the length and the voltage of the line increases, the capacitance gradually becomes of the greater importance. And since medium transmission lines have sufficient length between 50 to 150 kilometer and usually operate at voltages greater than 20 kV, the effects of capacitance cannot be neglected. So we have to consider the effect of the capacitance. Therefore, in order to obtain reasonable accuracy in the medium transmission line calculation, the line capacitance must be taken into account. We'll see that how to do this thing. Now, the capacitance is uniformly distributed over the entire length of the line. But when we actually do the analysis at that time, we have to think that the capacitance parameter that is lumped or it is concentrated. So in order to make the calculation simple, the line capacitance is assumed to be lumped or concentrated in the form of capacitors shunted across the line at one or more points. Such a treatment of localizing the line capacitance gives reasonable accurate results. So the most commonly methods which is actually used for this analysis purpose for medium transmission lines, first method is the end condenser method, then second method is the nominal T method, and third method is the nominal pi method. Now first we'll discuss that what is end condenser method. Now from the name it is clear that the end condenser, so end condenser means obviously the capacitance which is there, it will be connected at the end of the capacitor, okay, means at the end of the circuit, okay. So we'll see that how to do that. We'll draw this circuit in the board. So we can see that this is the capacitance which is connected at the end of the circuit. So that's why it is an end condenser method. So this is your load, this is your resistance, this is your XL, and this one is the sending end voltage, that is your VS. This is your receiving end voltage, that is VR, and then you have a sending end current, that is IS, and we have a receiving end current, that is IR. So this is the value of the C is the capacitance. Is it clear that circuit? So we can understand that this capacitance value, it is distributed throughout the length of the line. But when we are considering the capacitance effect of the capacitance, we need to consider this value of the capacitance at the end of the circuit. Okay, so just a minute, I will connect it to. Okay, so now we'll see the circuit diagram. Now, in this method, the capacitance of the line is lumped or concentrated at the receiving end or load. This method of localizing the line capacitance at the load end overestimates the effects of the capacitance. Now, one phase of the three-phase line is shown here for the analysis purpose. Now, here, what are the parameters? Let IR is the load current per phase. This is the load current or the receiving end current. That is, R is the resistance per phase. XL is the inductive reactance per phase. C is the capacitance per phase, and cos phi r is the receiving end power factor. And obviously, the load is normally inductive in nature, and that's why for the inductive load, we know that the capacitance value, it will be a lagging kind of thing. Now we need to draw the phasor diagram. We have to draw the phasor diagram for this particular circuit diagram. Okay. So now for this particular circuit, how to draw the phasor diagram? Okay, that is the very, very important thing which you have to draw now. Okay. Let us go to the board and let us discuss this thing. So whiteboard is visible, na?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let us say in this case, we'll assume VR is the reference phasor. Okay. VR is the reference phasor and VR is having an angle IR. Okay. So we'll see that. This is your VR. This is your IR. So the angle between them is pi r. Okay. I think we require more space. So this will be difficult here. Now what will happen, you see, VR is this one. Now this capacitance is connected in parallel, but this R and XL, they are connected in series. So there will be drop of IS into R and there will be drop of IS into XL. So now IR is known to us, but we have to got IS. Now there will be a capacitive current here. So this capacitive current, what will be the direction of this capacitive current? Who can tell the direction of the capacitive current? What should be the direction? Direction of the capacitive current?
Positive to negative.
No. What will be the phasor direction? Phasor direction. So this will be
Leading.
leading. So leading means it will be leading with respect to what?
Voltage, sir.
Which voltage? VR, correct. So IC.
Well done.
So this is IC will be perpendicular with your VR. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this is your VR. So perpendicular with this one means, let us say this will be something like this. Okay. So this will be your direction of your IC. Now we can see from this figure that IS, this IS phasor source current will be equal to your IC plus IR, because this source current, it is distributed into two paths. One is IC, another is IR. So if we join these two, so what we'll get? If we join these two,
Yes.
we'll get IS, correct. So now IS we have known, it is known to us. So there will be two drops. One is IS into R, another will be IS into XL. Now, what we'll do? IS into R, this drop will be parallel with IS. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
This is your IS vector. So IS into R will be this. This will be the same direction. And IS into XL, this will be perpendicular with respect to the.
Perpendicular with ISR.
Correct. So we'll have a perpendicular with respect to this one. Now this phasor, this will be your IS into Z. So finally I should write here one by one. This is this vector. This is your IS into R. This vector, this is IS into XL. And this vector, it is IS into Z.
Z.
So now if we connect this point and this point, so what we'll get? This will be your
VS.
Yes,
VS.
correct. Very good. So VS and IS is making an angle of phi s. Okay, so this angle between VS and IS, the angle will be, that is your phi s, that is your sending and power factor angle. Now, any doubt on this particular phasor diagram? Anyone? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. So we'll proceed with the slide. Just a minute. So you see, VS is the sending end voltage per phase. Okay. And VR is, we have written VR is the reference phasor. So VR plus J0. Now load current IR will be equal to IR into cos phi R minus J sin phi R. Okay. Because of the power factor. Now IC equal to J VR omega C. So omega is 2 pi F. So J 2 pi F C VR. Now we know that IS equal to IR plus IC. So we'll substitute all these things. Now voltage drop will be IS into Z. So IS into Z means we'll substitute that value. The Z is R plus JXL. We'll substitute. And then sending end voltage, VS will be equal to VR plus IS into Z. We'll substitute the value of Z. Now the voltage regulation, percentage voltage regulation, it is VS minus VR by VR into 100. And transmission efficiency, that is power delivered per phase divided by power delivered per phase plus losses per phase. So if we substitute all those things, we'll get it. Okay. Now I will derive it in the board so that you can understand clearly, because just here there may be some difficulty. So I will erase this phasor diagram, or in between I should write so that it will be more clear. I will write in between somewhere. So first you see, I should erase this portion, then it will be, I will get some space. first of all, we'll assume that VR is your reference phasor. So VR will be equal to VR plus 1 plus J0. This is correct or not? This is our reference phasor. Okay, this is our reference phasor. Now IR will be equal to it is power factor angle is pi r. So this will be, if we represent in terms of vector form, so this will be cos phi r plus j sin phi r. Okay. Now IR is known, so IS we can calculate. IS will be equal to IC plus IR. Now we'll substitute what is IR. IR equal to IR plus cos of phi r plus j sin phi r, and IC equal to j omega c, yes or no, into voltage is your VR.
Yeah.
So what we'll do, instead of this omega, we'll substitute 2 pi L. So this is basically, this is written as J 2 pi F C VR. Up to this step, any doubt? Anyone? Up to this step, anybody has any problem?
सर जो IR वेक्टर इक्वल टू IR cos phi r प्लस J sin phi r लिखे हैं, तो
Correct.
वहां पर प्लस J sin phi r और माइनस J sin phi r किस किस कंडीशन में लिखते हैं, मतलब
Correct.
प्लस क्यों लिखे हैं?
Correct. So normally it is here you see, I will go to the slide. Here I have written it is minus J sin phi r. Okay. So minus is basically because if the power factor is lagging, then we'll write the minus. If it is a leading, then we'll write a plus.
Okay, sir.
So as it is written in the here, I think in the your slide, you should make it minus here, so that later on you will not have any confusion, as you have pointed out. So I will erase this thing. This is minus. This will be also minus. Okay. Now it is clear based on the power factor angle.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Minus and plus. Now we'll take this one. So IS is known to us. So VR is known. VR is also known. So we have to calculate VS. So VS will be equal to it is VR plus that voltage drop will be IS vector into R plus JXL. Okay. So VR, it is VR equal to VR angle. So there is no change. But IS, it is, we have calculated, that is IR into cos phi r minus J sin phi r plus, this will be plus, I think we have to take this bracket, then plus J 2 pi FC VR, and then we'll multiply with, this will be R plus JXL. Okay, clear? VS, expression of VS is clear, na?
Yes, sir.
So the percentage voltage regulation, this can be calculated VS minus VR by VR into 100%. Oh, sorry. Take here is that thing. Okay. So this way we can calculate your transmission efficiency can be calculated. Transmission efficiency for the medium transmission, that is medium transmission line, with the help of N condenser method, that is power delivered per phase divided by power delivered per phase plus line losses per phase. So that means this will be power delivered is how much? It is VR, that is receiving end power, VR IR cos pi R, and your VR IR cos pi R plus your IS square into R. Is it clear? Okay. Transmission efficiency.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is, it is given here, whatever we have derived. Now there are certain limitations of this particular method. What are the limitations? We should understand. Though this N condenser method for the solution of the medium transmission line is simple to work out calculation, but there are certain drawbacks. First is that there is considerable error, about 10% in calculation, because the distributed capacitance has been assumed to be lumped or concentrated. And what we have done, that is, we have assumed that the capacitance, it is lumped or concentrated. But in practical cases, this capacitance, it is not lumped or it is concentrated, it is distributed. And due to that, when we will assume that all the capacitances are concentrated or lumped, in that case, the calculation, whatever we will get, that is the voltage regulation, the efficiency, there will be some error. This method overestimates the effect of line capacitance. So these are the basically two limitations of this N condenser method. Okay. Now we'll solve one numerical example. So first is that a single phase transmission line 100 km long has the following constants. Resistance per kilometer is 0.25 ohm. Reactance per kilometer, it is 0.8 ohm. Susceptance per kilometer, it is 14 into 10 to the power minus 6 Siemens. Receiving end line voltage, it is 66,000 volt. Assuming that the total capacitance of the line is localized at the receiving end alone, determine number 1, the sending end current, number 2, the sending end voltage, number 3, regulation, and number 4, supply power factor. The line is delivering 50,000 kilowatt at 0.8 power factor lagging. Draw the phasor diagram to illustrate your calculation. So basically, this is a medium transmission line problem, and we'll solve this problem with the help of N condenser method. Now, in this case, you have been asked to determine first parameter, it is the sending end current, second is the sending end voltage, third is the regulation, voltage regulation, and number 4 is the supply power factor or the power factor. So these are the parameters you are supposed to calculate. Now, first it is given, that is total resistance. So we need to calculate the total value, because these values are per kilometer value. These are all given as a per kilometer, but your line length is 100 kilometers. So you are supposed to calculate the total value of the parameter. That is, resistance will be 0.25 into 100, because the line length is 100. So it is 25 ohm. Similarly, your reactance value, it is 0.8. So for 100 kilometer length, it will be 80 ohm. Y, that is your susceptance, that is 14 into 10 to the power minus 6. It will be again multiplied by 100. So 14 into 10 to the power minus 4 Siemens. Receiving end voltage VR, that is 66,000 volt. And load current. Load current will be here, you see, this is your 15,000 kilowatt and 0.8 power factor. So 15,000 kilowatt and 0.8 power factor. Voltage is 66,000. See, it is a single phase case. So voltage, power divided by voltage into power factor. This will give you the current. That is the phase current you will get, because it is a single phase case. Now cos phi r, it is given 0.8, sin phi r, it is 0.6. So VR, we can calculate, that is VR will be equal to VR plus J0. That is your 66,000 volt. IR we can calculate, that is IR into cos phi r minus J sin phi r. So cos phi r and J sin phi r, this all you will have to substitute, and IR equal to, it is given, it is, you have calculated already, that is 284. So you can draw the phasor diagram same as whatever we have drawn, and circuit also you can draw. It is the same thing. Now the capacitive current, you have to just apply the formulas. Okay, IC will be equal to Y into VR. So Y is given, that is 14 into 10 to the power minus 6. VR is 66,000. So you will get the value of the capacitive current. So the sending end current, that will be IS equal to IR plus IC. So IR is known to you and IC is also known to you. You can calculate the value of IS. So the magnitude you can calculate, because this is in Cartesian coordinates. So magnitude will be this square plus this square and square root of that. That is 240 ampere. Now the voltage drop, that is IS into Z. Voltage drop will be equal to Z is your R plus JXL. So IS you have calculated in the phasor form, that is 227 minus J78. And Z is, it is R plus JXL. So R and XL you have calculated in the previously first part you have calculated. So you can calculate the voltage drop. So voltage drop you can calculate. So immediately you can calculate the sending end voltage. So that is equal to VS equal to VR plus IS into Z. So VR is 66,000 volt and your voltage drop value is known to you. So you can calculate the value of VS. So this VS will be, that is basically the square and this square and square root of that. So you can calculate the value of the VS value. Now the percentage regulation you can calculate, that is VS minus VR by VR into 100. So you will substitute all these value. VS value you can substitute, VR you can substitute, already you have calculated the value of VR, and then you will substitute, so you can get the voltage regulation, percentage voltage regulation. Now next is you have to calculate the supply power factor. Supply power factor angle, it depends on the two things. One is the first you have to calculate what is the angle between VR and IR. So when we have to calculate the angle between VR and IR, so we'll go back there. So what is this? It is IR is 227 minus J170. So you see here what has to be done for this particular case. It is, you see, this is IS. You have to calculate IS is 227 minus J78. So basically the angle between VR and IR, that is this minus 78 by 227. So you will get the value of theta 1. Now your angle between VR and VS, so you can calculate that way. That is VR and VS. VR and VS means this angle. This is your VR and this is your VS. So this particular angle. So this we can calculate basically with the help of, if you know the value of the VS vector. Because why? How we are getting this angle? Let us say this theta 2. How we are getting? If we take this value, because this divided by this and tan inverse of that, you will get some angle. Now this VS is with respect to VR, because you see VR we have taken reference. So VR, if we have taken reference, whatever angle is having this VS, so that is the basically angle with respect to VR. So you will get this value, that is 11.50. So that means your, first of all, your angle between VR and IR, that we have already calculated. And angle between VR and VS we have calculated. So phi s will be equal to, what is this phi s? So you see, first this phi s will be equal to angle between your IS and VR, this one, and then second part is between VR and VS. So if we add these two, so we will get the sending end power factor angle. And if you take the cosine of that, then it will be basically your sending end power factor. Now, any query on this particular part? Any query?
No, sir.
Problem? No. So I think,
No, sir.
okay. So you have understood this problem. Now, next is the nominal T method. So prior to that, I think you should put your attendance. Okay, I think I have the attendance slide, because otherwise time will be over and then there will be a problem in the LMS. Maybe in the last slide I have given no, it is not pasted. Okay, fine. I will just take a few minutes. Okay, and I will show you the attendance QR code. Just a minute. Okay, QR code is visible?
Yes, sir.
Sir, please put your attendance quickly. Put your attendance. Is it over? All of you have done it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Now we'll continue. So we'll go back to that particular slide. Okay, so we are actually discussing nominal T method. This is the second method to analyze the medium transmission line. So in this case, nominal T, so T, that word T itself, it clearly indicate the structure of your equivalent circuit will be in the form of T. So you see, this is a kind of T. Okay, this is a one hand and this is another hand. So that means the structure of the circuit becomes a T structure. Okay, so in this T structure, so what will happen? The series branch that is resistance and inductance, it is basically divided into two halves. So one half will be in the left hand side and another half will be on the right hand side. So that will be basically R by 2, XL by 2, and this side also R by 2 and XL by 2. And this is your capacitance. Okay, that is basically put in at the middle. Okay, and then this is your VS, IS, and then this is your VR, that is the receiving end voltage and receiving end current. Okay, circuit diagram is clear, so that I can proceed. I should draw in the board.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Clear. Okay, so now let us say this, let IR be the load current per phase, XL is the inductive reactance per phase, cos phi R is the receiving end power factor, V1 is the voltage across the capacitor, R is the resistance per phase. So this is a R by 2 and R by 2, but this is the resistance, total R is the resistance per phase, C is the capacitance per phase, Vs is the sending end voltage. Now what we'll do the analysis. Okay, so we have to do the analysis. In this case, VR is taken as the reference phasor. So VR equal to VR plus J0. IR will be equal to IR into cos phi R minus J sin phi R. So here also we'll do the same way. So VR we have assumed, but if we have to proceed, then there will be a drop. That drops are IR into R by 2 and IR into XL by 2. This will be a 2 drops. So these 2 drops will be added with VR. So if you add these drops, we will get V1. So we'll see that. First, I will describe the phasor diagram. So this is your VR, okay, and you have a IR. So that is a cos phi R is your cos phi is the cos phi R. Basically, that is the power factor angle of the receiving end. Now you see here this we have to get the value of V1 or IC because but prior to that there will be 2 drops, IR into R by 2 and IR into XL by 2. So we know the direction of IR. So if the direction of IR is known, so what will happen? This will be IR into R by 2 and the perpendicular will be IR into XL by 2. So this will be IR into Z by 2. So if you add VR with this IR Z by 2, you will get V1. Now if V1 is you have obtained, so V1 if you have obtained, so the IC, the direction of IC will be perpendicular with V1. So this is the direction of the V1 and perpendicular IC direction will be perpendicular with this. So if we add this IR and IC, we'll get IS. So if we have got IS, so then again there will be 2 drops. One drop is your IS into R by 2 and another drop is the IS into XL by 2. So what will happen? This will be this vector, this will be parallel with your IS. So if we have drawn this parallel with IS into R by 2 and the perpendicular component will be IS into XL by 2. So if you join these 2, this will be IS into Z by 2. So finally you see this VR plus IR into Z by 2 and IS into Z by 2 together you will get a VS. So if you got this VS, So angle between VS and IS will be your power factor angle of the sending end. Is it clear, this vector diagram, or should I draw in the board? Should I draw in the whiteboard? You tell me.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Sir, please, sir.
Draw karu?
Sir, yes, sir.
Okay, no
Yes,
issue.
sir. Yes, sir. Please, once.
Okay, I will draw. I will draw, no issue. So prior to that, I need to draw the circuit diagram. Otherwise, it will not be clear. So let me draw the circuit diagram first, because otherwise you cannot understand. You draw also, so that you can understand. Parallelly, you can draw in your copy so that you can understand, because I am drawing here, so you can understand that how to draw it. Is it clear, this circuit diagram? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now we'll draw the phasor diagram. So phasor diagram, we'll start with VR. Okay. आसाना जी बोलिए. देख लेते हैं, ठीक है तो देख लेते हैं. हाँ देख लेते हैं, ठीक है, देख लेते हैं क्या है, ठीक है ना. Okay, so this phasor diagram we have to draw. I need some space here. So what I will do, I will start from here, maybe here. So this is your VR and this is your IR. Okay, so let us say this is your VR phasor and this is your IR phasor. So in between there is an angle. This angle is your phi r. Now what we'll do? We'll draw the drops. There will be two drops. One drop is IR into RY2. Another will be IR into XL/2. We'll draw now. So this IR into RY2, this will be in parallel with this IR. So this will be parallel with this IR. So this, and then there will be a IR into XL/2. That will be a perpendicular to this. So let us say that is your IR into XL/2. So if you join these two, so this will be your IR into. So what we'll do now, this is not clear, so I should erase this thing. And again, I will redraw it so that it will be clear. Otherwise, it will be hazy. Now, here it will be. So this is your VR. Now this is your IR into RY2. This is your IR into XL/2. And this will be your IR into
Z/2.
Okay. So now what we'll do, we'll draw these two lines from here to here. So what we'll get, this is your
One.
V1, correct. So This will be your now our V1. V1. So V1 we have got. So we can get the value of IC because this IC will be here. This is your IC. Okay, this is your IC. Now the direction of IC will be perpendicular with which one?
V1.
V1. Correct.
V1.
So here you see this is your direction of V1. So perpendicular with this. So that means something like it will be this way. Okay. So we have to draw a perpendicular with V1. Okay. So that means this one will be your IC. Now, if you join, so what is the value of IS? IS equal to, what is IS? IS equal to
IR plus IC.
IR plus IC. So here what we'll do, here we'll join these two. So finally, I think this will be your IS.
IS.
Now there will be two drops. So we have reached up to this point. So there will be two drops. One drop will be IS into RY2. Another drop will be IS into XLY2. Now IS into RY2, we have got this IS vector. So it will be parallel with this. So we'll draw it.
IS.
Yes. So this will be a parallel line. Now then there will be a perpendicular line. And then we'll join these two. So what will happen? This is your IS into R by 2. This is your IS into XL by 2. And this is your IS into Z by 2. Okay. Now if you join these two, we join this point and this point, what will happen?
We got BS.
Got VS. So if it is VS, so angle between this and this, VS and IS, this will be your IS. That is your
IS.
power factor angle, sending in power factor.
Power factor.
Correct. So any doubt? Somebody was asking that phasor diagram is not clear. Now it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Any doubt from anyone regarding this phasor diagram? No, I think no. Okay. So I will stop share this thing and we'll continue the next class, the remaining part. Okay. Thank you to all of you and we'll continue in next class. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll close this meeting.